Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today we have to dive into the final game of the crazy grand finals from yesterday's North American AEOS Cup in the Pokemon Unite Championship Series. We have left side team is going to be Game In Gladiators, right side team is Full Send. Now the crazy thing is these were the top 8 teams. They qualified for the grand finals, and Full Send actually got sent to the losers bracket in round 1 of the finals by GG in a 2-0 loss, where they then had to fight their way all the way out of the losers bracket. They win the losers bracket, they come back up into grand finals, they create a bracket reset by beating GG 3-1, and then they take it all the way to a game 5. So actually GG forcing the game 5 as Full Send was winning the series 2-1. So this is the final game, the redemption arc coming in for Full Send. Let's go ahead and dive into this review. So let me move my camera. We're going to go down here for this one, and let's look at it. So GG, on the side of GG, their bottom lane is going to be Attacker, Blastoise, Goof, which is something that they've been playing a lot and really just adding to this bulky team. And obviously Blastoise is a crazy fighter, so really good in the meta, with the tank being Zugrug on Blissey, still using the Score Shield. Really interesting. I think that goes really well with Safeguard, so really like full tank kind of setup. Indie Bear going to be rocking the kind of like traditional Hoopa build, support Hoopa build. We have Lutano playing like all-rounder style build. Trevenant in the top lane, very strong, something we've been seeing them run. He's got muscle band for damage on hit, the attack weight for stacking, and then a solid focus band. And then we have Tune on the Greninja, very solid Greninja build. As for the right hand side of Full Send, we have Bloodline on the Blissey tank, running a choice specs for Secure, which are really interesting. Pretty standard Hoopa build, same thing. And then we have some interesting stuff that we gotta talk about. But a couple of things I want to note is that I want to give away too much just yet. 2 energy amplifiers on the side of Full Send. I think that's really cool. I've been really excited to see the kind of introduction of energy amplifier into the meta, and it's really solid. So we have one on Blastoise, one on Bulby on the Lucario, so really cool stuff. And then they're running Sylveon, so let's go ahead and dive into this one. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can skip straight to the game and see what's going on here, because really interesting stuff. Right out of the gate, they have Otter on the right hand side of Full Send, sending the Eevee into jungle. So really interesting stuff. 2-1-2 coming out from GG. We're seeing a lot more 2-1-2 with Hyperspace Hole Hoopa being taken and being played a little bit more. So 2-1-2, but they have, instead of Celestial in the jungle on the Blastoise, they actually have Otter playing it with the Sylveon. So the meta, the cool thing about this is just the meta is very wide open. But look at this, level 4 Hyper Voice Sylveon coming into lane, chasing down Lutano, and has the buffs on. This is something that we've seen in EU a little bit, where they try to prioritize getting the level 4 power spike for Sylveon. They give it the blue buff, and they usually go bottom lane with it, but this is kind of like a North American adaptation, something that Full Send has probably been working on. So early ganks coming out. Toon going to show up in a lane. They're going to give that farm to Lutano in the top lane, and just trying to make some kind of an impact. So got to watch this and see how it plays out. So I think there's a lot of like farm denying that tries to go on in the top lane with Lutano versus the Lucario. A big focus that I've seen them have is like trying to stop the Lucario from hitting 5 early. So it kind of like flattens the curve a little bit of the power spike of Lucario. And that's a pretty good thing there. So Lutano going to go ahead and take that Hyperspace Hole. He gets to brawl out a little bit. And yeah, second jungle rotation is up, and we'll see how Full Send deals with it. Do they go for a jungle swap? Do they send the Sylveon to lane? Is it just an early game strategy? That's something that we want to watch. So as you can see, we have Celestial going back into jungle now for second rotation. So they did like a jungle swap. So they're alleviating some pressure early game by like giving the Sylveon early strength. So they're leveraging that early strength of Sylveon to be able to like give it buffs and use that Hyper Voice to be very aggressive. But now it's back to bottom lane attacker. Blastoise is back in jungle. So they're basically like creating a power dynamic where instead of playing the jungle game rushing to level 9, they're playing the lane game to rush an early advantage. So really interesting stuff to see. Very, very close game. We've had a couple of KOs in both sections. And now with the hyperspace hull, we see a lot more action in top lane, a lot more action with the macro play where they're going, you know, up and down and doing all these crazy things. Toon almost securing a kill there. You can even see Otter with the focus band popping. He decides to step back in. But 720Bs are up. And this is what we didn't see a lot of competitive without hyperspace hull. You would oftentimes not see this much action in top lane at this section because people are posturing for Dreadnought. But unfortunately, Bulby's going to get taken down here. But now, with Hyperspace Hull, you have much faster rotations and much quicker decisions and the ability to make those kind of decisions. So that you otherwise couldn't make without Hyperspace Hull. So you see both Hyperspace Hulls bringing everybody down. We're going to take a quick pause and look at some things. So jungle-wise, we have Toon on the Greninja at level 8. Jungle-wise, we have Celestial. Technically, he's their jungler on Blastoise at level 7. So neither one is quite at 9, and we don't exactly know what Toon's level is full, but like in full. But we're either going to see if full send feels like Toon is too, if they know that Toon is too close to 9, they're probably going to full send, and that's funny. They're probably going to full send and rip the Dreadnought or try to get this fight happened before that level 9. And if he's not, then they may just flip 50-50 flip it. They may take their time a little bit. But either way, I think we're going to see a pretty proactive decision making from full send here, just based on the levels, because this is really what you want to be looking at, jungler level going into first Dreadnought. So let's see how they take this. So they see that he's not close to 9. They're most likely going to be looking for the fight, but you see Lutano coming in kind of proactively. That said, it looks like they're looking for the rip. You can see that Celestial spent the majority of his resources, and it looks like, unfortunately, during that section of time, GG was able to mostly clean up, but they're still staying alive. Bloodline taking his time to die, unfortunately going to get KO'd there. And we do have a Unite move from Otter. I'm not sure if he used that yet, but Otter being level 8, Toon not going to take the hyperspace hull, probably just a little bit too risky to do so. And actually, Toon gets taken down. So now it's you know, kind of like refight territory, but they were able to secure the Dreadnought. Wait, did full send get the Dreadnought? Am I crazy? I didn't even realize that this died. Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't even realize that this had died. So full send actually securing that. That's my bad. I thought that it was more of like just a full fight and they rotate off. So GG is trying to catch up in experience here a little bit because of the fact that full send was able to get the Dreadnought. So this kind of this forward positioning and this forward push is really an attempt to kind of get some experience back off of them. But full send is able to come back down into the bottom path and actually continue to kind of extend that lead just a tiny bit. So really, really good position for full send to be in. I really thought that it was going to turn into a refight over the Dreadnought. I didn't even realize that it was completely taken down during that rip. So that initial rip that we saw Celestial going straight for the Dreadnought, that actually paid off. I mean, they were able to just completely shred that down. So really crazy stuff. We do have a Unite move on Toon now, so we'll have to see if they decide to be aggressive here, if he wants to save it for Dreadnought 2. It's kind of a decision that has to be made, but you're seeing a really rip and like shred heavy play style. But that's Lutano's ult coming out, that's the Blastoise ult coming out, and it does look like full send secures it. So they trade a defender ult for a defender ult, and now look at Otter. I just feel like he's putting so much work in with this hyper voice. He's being really aggressive. It gives that the range on it. It gives a lot of poke potential, but that the Rotom gets in. Toon uses his Greninja ult on the front side, and he does he not get a kill at all here? So they're using resources. I need to look back at this because I was kind of laser focused. So he uses his Unite move, but he doesn't get anything out of it. He just dies right away. And that's kind of like the volatility with Gren right now. Gren is really, really strong, but at the same time, if it's a slightly tankier or bulkier kind of meta, if you're not able to take out one of the squishier targets, then you're not going to get much done here. So we'll have to see. Okay, so that's another Unite move coming out from the side of GG. They used the Blastoise Unite, they used the Trevenant Unite, and they used the Greninja Unite, all with 20 seconds left on the clock as of right now for the second Dreadnought. So I believe we only saw one Unite move coming out from full send. So Unite economy-wise, and the Rotom went in. So they get to score. Unite economy-wise, I do believe that's going to go in favor of full send. So we're starting to see how GG is posturing. I don't think that they can contest the Dreadnought. So GG's posturing for this top tower. They want to try to find some kind of a trade, and we're actually watching full send like hold this back. So We'll see if they can fight over this now in the bottom lane. It does look like Full Send's able to get that as well. Toon's going to try to run away, but honestly, this like Blastoise chase is just too much. So if they can stop this turn-in, that'd be good, or at least they're trading it, right? So bottom lane is trading the turn-in, top lane goal is going to go down. So GG making a smart decision. They knew they had used a lot of Unite moves. They knew they weren't going to just be able to take a head-up fight, and they went on ahead and stayed top lane and found a trade. So again, let's pause. Let's reevaluate. Let's look at the levels. Jungle to jungle, we have level 10 on Greninja to level 12 on Blastoise. So Blastoise very, very strong lead as far as jungle goes. Top lane to top lane, we have 11 on Lucario to 10 on Trevenant, so a decent lead there. Tank to tank, Blissey, technically, technically tank players. Level 8 Blissey to level 10 Blissey. Attacker to attacker, again, technically, 11 to 11. And then support to support, 9 to 10. So we can see a very clear experience lead on the side of Full Send. They got, 60-point lead, no biggie. 59-point lead, no biggie. So we have to see how GG can continue to close the gap on experience and not let Full Send run too far away with it going into that final stretch. 4 minutes left on the clock, so if any Unite moves are going to get used without energy amplifiers, which we know GG does, of which GG has none, they got to be used around now. So we may not see any more Unite moves until the very end of the game because they want to make sure to have that up and ready for the final fight. So now it's just about keeping momentum. Full Send wants to keep their experience lead. They want to keep their point lead. They don't want to give up any kills. Any kills between now and the final stretch is just free experience for GG, and they don't want that. Okay, big Unite move coming out. Like I said, around that 4-minute mark, they're going to go ahead and dump 2. They're going to try to use this momentum and this this pressure to get more points on the board. They want any experience they can get here is good too. So they get experience. They're going to get a 30 dunk on the tower. So now this is, really good situation for G to be in. Okay, that's more experience and more dunk on this tower potentially if they can't get any help. And it looks like Full Send's trying to trade off the top lane. So GG finds 3 elims, they find a ton of points put in, and Full Send is able to get a trade on top tower, but I would say experience-wise alone, this was a really good trade. Now, the goal's still at 5. They weren't able to get that big 45 overdunk, and we do see that Celestial is ripping, so close battle call out. That's that last 3-minute call out, and look, they're still pushing it, so really good stuff here. To at least find some kind of a trade on both sides of the field, but I do think that the Gladiators come out on top of that trade. So points wise, it's close battle. The teams know that the game is within that 20-point difference, and GG just has to deal with the Rotom. No big deal. They just pull that pressure off the field. But again, experience wise is probably the best thing that they could have gotten there because they're going to really close that gap quite a bit. I see like a 1 level difference on like 1 player. Otherwise, the levels are all tied up, just about. Yeah, the levels are basically all tied up. So it just comes down to this final fight. So a very, very close game. Kind of a little bit of early dominance from Full Send. GG finding some opportunities to pull themselves back into it. And now they're mid positioning, and Lutano going into this fight. We have to see how they decide to take this. All right. The Hoopa Unbound, Rings Unbound, and Toon dies instantly. We got to watch that back. So look at this. Look at this positioning. We have Zugrug and Toon pressuring, and we have a little bit of pressure going on up by the choke. And you can see, watch this damage right here. Look at this damage. We get, oh my goodness. Is that damage from the Bliss Assistance? I think it's a combination of Bliss Assistance with Celestial. They just got collapsed on so hard. And if you see the mini map here, you can see we have like half of GG is up in the top. We know that Lutano is like in the choke right here, and then we have 2 down here. So this is really just a big split fight, and Full Send collapses and creates one cohesive death ball. Let's watch it again. Watch Blastoise. Celestial comes down, dives into the fight. We have the Bliss Assistance that lands and just knocks up, and just so much damage. We have full 5 of Full Send wiping out 2 players really quickly. Now they're chasing Indy Bear. Indy Bear goes down. Lutano, the last one alive, with Goof somewhere on the Blastoise. All they have to do is kill the Blastoise, and boom, just like that, they take a very big death ball cohesive fight. Again, let's watch that back really quickly. And full time, we can see the full fight break. GG had kind of like the forward positioning, and I just think that they really split and didn't take a fight in one direction. You see Lutana goes in this way, Toon and Zugra go down this way, and then it just turns into the giant collapse, the big Bliss assistance that jumps in on top of that Hoopa stun, and Full Send just found the targets that they wanted to find, and they split off from the rest of the fight that just didn't feel worth fighting anymore, and they just wipe them out really, really quickly. So Full Send, again, 0-2, round 1 of the winner's bracket. They fight their way all the way through the loser's bracket. They come into the grand finals. They beat GG 3-1. 3-1. They get the bracket reset because you have to beat GG because GG hasn't lost in the entire tournament. And then they take it, or the game gets taken. Technically, GG takes it to a game 5 where Full Send completely shuts them out, unfortunately. Well, I say completely shuts them out, but it's a big turnaround. Big turnaround for Full Send to have the full losers bracket run. I mean, they didn't get taken out in round 2 winners. They got taken out in the first round, and it's the revenge story, right? So you get to build a little bit of storylines there. We do have one final push. There's still a minute left, so we have to make sure that we watch it. But the Hoopa, the Rings Unbound, there might be some Unite moves on this side, but the good thing about Full Send here is that they know that they can give up points here. They know that they have a nice lead. So they can give up points here. They just got to back up. And this tower, this goal right here, heals so much with Lutano going down, even with the Bliss assistance dropping. It's just going to be so hard for GG to get any kind of, any kind of actual kills on this home goal. This home goal heals so much. And it's basically all but confirmed to be over. Yep, shutting them out with 2 people down. There's really just nothing they can do. So GG to GG's and Full Send, a crazy series. I mean, seriously, went the distance. There's only so many games you can play in a grand finals, and they played every single one. And so, like I said, I just wanted to highlight the very last one, kind of tell the story. I definitely recommend you go watch the broadcast or watch the VOD if you want to see the full series, because man, that's like just full gameplay, hour and a half gameplay between these two teams. So a phenomenal series, a phenomenal cup in general. Some really crazy games, some amazing team comps, lots of versatility. SYLVEON getting picked, a Blastoise jungle that laned, the 2-1-2s. The meta is all over the place. I think competitively the game's in a really good state. So friends, thank you so much for watching. Drop a comment, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for future Pokemon Unite content if you haven't already. I would definitely appreciate that. But as always, be sure to be kind to one another. Tell someone you love them. I'll see you in the next video.